All righty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 69th annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival, day number 4. Well, it has been a very interesting last couple of hours on our radio station. Well, not on the station side of things, really, but on our YouTube and Facebook live feeds. The attempt was to cover the Black Walnut Festival Grand Parade. And the goal was to keep the rain away. And unfortunately, the rain came around, and the rain stuck around a little bit, and it was just annoying enough to give us poor Wi-Fi service and a lot of people online complaining about the fact that they couldn't hear things or couldn't see things or it was cutting in and out. We do apologize. We are at the mercy of what we have, which is the Wi-Fi we have up front on Main Street and the equipment that we have, and the fact that we were having to use our equipment to tape delay on the actual audio for the city of Spencer through their sound system, and it was pure, unadulterated, and crazy chaos for us from 12 o'clock until right now. And in fact, we have not been able to even get back on until right now, but we do appreciate those of you who have stuck it out with us here. The rains, boy, I tell you, they did hold off until about 15 minutes into the parade. A little bit of rain came, it stopped. A little more came, it stopped. A little more came, it stopped. But it was constant and annoying. But I tell you what, everybody got through, and right at the end of it, when the parade was over, down came the deluge. The skies opened up, and it came a nasty one. And since then, we've had a little bit of rain off and on, but we're reset up here. And I tell you what, it really has not dampened the spirit. I still see so many people running around, walking back and forth. They've got their gear on, they've got their umbrellas for them, and they're having a good time here still at the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. Of course, the food vendors are still going strong. Now, one of the things we do need to say is they have temporarily postponed the music while the rains are down. So the musicians that were supposed to begin here at 2 o'clock, Jack and Davis Reed, not sure what's going to happen with that, if they're just going to push everything back, or if they may end up, if the rains hold off at some point, just backing everybody up or canceling something. We're not sure yet. We'll try to have that information for you. We know the food vendors are open. We know everything else as far as the Armory stuff, the Spencer Middle School stuff, the Heritage Park Community Building stuff, that is all open. The information booth is still open. I think they have paused the Euro bungee just due to the rain as well. The carnival, by the way, is also postponed right now. So they have closed down things a little bit right now while the rain comes through. The last we saw, we're supposed to have a little bit of clearing skies a little later this evening. So if you just be patient, folks, maybe the rains will come through and just be gone for the evening. But again, we're back here live. Thank you very much, Patty Starcher. We appreciate you contacting us and letting us know that you appreciate what we do. I tell you what, in a world full of, what do they call them, haters or very frustrated people, it's amazing. I was up there. I was going wild back and forth trying to fix things and get things as best I could for the Grand Parade. And we had a lot of people saying thank you so much for all you do, but we did have a lot of people complaining about something that they didn't even have a chance to do 2 years ago. And that's one of those things you just have to deal with. Speaking of dealing with stuff, we're very happy to be back with our sponsor for this half hour, and that is, again, Old Fences Realty. We're back with Mike and Joellen Greenlee, Jordan Spears. We have no idea where Taylor May is. Last Mike said he saw her on a mule or something.
Yep, she was riding her horse. I called her mule.
Well, you guys were able to get into the Grand Parade, and you guys had a really good time. You had a really good float. The best thing I liked about it, though, was Astra, the shop dog, or is that what you call her, the shop dog? I tell you what, that dog was sitting up so perfectly and so square in the Jeep. It was so neat.
I think she could have drove.
Yeah, she may have been able to.
Yeah, she was in the side-by-side. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a side-by-side.
Yeah, she was
I
in
was,
the side-by-side.
I was thinking about the vehicle. You did have somebody on top of your Jeep.
Forrest called me and he said, "Hey, Mom, guess what I'm watching right now?" And I said, "What are you watching?" He goes, "I'm watching Astor on TV." So, Drew, you made it to Texas.
I did make it to
Hey.
Texas. Now, I may have made it to Texas with glitchy systems, but at least Forrest didn't complain about it, thank goodness.
He was thrilled to death to be able to see it clear down in Texas.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad, and that's what I like to see, the people who understand that. You know, it's always funny to me. And you just have to deal with stuff like that. I think about it, I'm like, all the effort that is put into that and all the things we try to do and all of the systems that were not working for us, and nobody knows how the stress is and nobody knows what's happening and why it's happening. They just don't like that it's not happening perfectly for them at the right time. And I'm thinking, man, 2 years ago, we didn't even have an opportunity to try this.
I tell you what. Now, I mean, that sounds difficult, but you guys make it look easy. You can make it look way too easy. And I think that's probably why some people
That's the problem.
Because they think, if they would sit here and look at all these stinking cords that you've got plugged, it's spaghetti.
It's great.
Black spaghetti.
You know what would be nice if I could learn how to actually put it away properly so when I got it out, it wasn't a rat's nest again.
right. And, we watch the football games all over the world.
Yes.
We was in the North Atlantic, out in the middle of the ocean, watching the football game.
And you guys comment, and it's so interesting. I'm like, wait, they're watching from the beach. They're watching from the North Atlantic. They're all over the place. Mexico.
Wherever.
It's so cool, though, that you guys are able to do that stuff. But, again, we're not here to listen to me complain. We're here to talk about you guys and what you want to talk about with Old Fitz's Realty. If you want to talk about the Walnut Festival, you want to talk about anything, this is your all's half hour, basically to brag on yourselves. If I don't do it, you're going to have to.
Well, here's something I can throw in there. You were talking about how hard things really are that people don't see, that like how much trouble you have in the backgrounds.
Yes.
It's the same way with real estate transaction. Mike and him thrive whenever there is a problem on how they can get it fixed.
Yeah.
If there is a real estate agent out there or a company that can do it, they can get it done. They put their heads down, they work hard, they consult with each other, and that's where the team comes in.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how much of that is the teamwork, number one, plus the experience, number two, and the amount of people that you've met and kept in contact with over the many years that you guys have been in this business. You can, if you don't know the answer yourselves, you have ways of finding things out. You have people that you can contact. You have people that you can work with because you guys have been doing this for so long.
As we come through the parade, I would say a solid 2/3 of the people, the families, the groups that are there, we have touched. We've touched their lives, helped them to buy a piece of property or sell a piece of property. It is just amazing. Of course, they holler, hey, Mike, hey, Joellen, hey, Astra, even. Astra is becoming, a famous thing there. Jordan, I mean, they're all hollering all the names and everything, and it is amazing how many people we have touched. And it is difficult. Jordan makes it look easy for a lot of these newbies.
And I think that smile on the face all the time, you don't know the chaos.
No, you don't know the chaos, yeah. And, she has gone way beyond the call of duty to help, these young families be able to buy their first home. And, of course, she's a young person. She identifies very well with the young families. I'm kind of getting a little longer in the tooth, but she does.
And here's one of the examples. She loves to do her descriptions for Facebook and putting it out there. Well, she likes to put emojis on it.
Yep.
The young people relate to emojis. Mike's like, what are you doing with these emojis? And it's like, come on, Mike.
Yeah, and we did a post. I did a post like side by side. He told me to remove them because old people don't understand them. I got like less than half of the shares that I normally get on it.
Oh my! Listen, they speak emoji.
I don't know.
I don't understand half of them, but if the younger people do, I get it. That is really a thing that I forgot about when we talked last year about this. Like, you do relate and can understand these kids are kids. I mean, they're kids to us, guys.
Yeah.
These young people who are navigating this really difficult decision early in their lives. You know exactly what they're thinking because you're young yourself and you know how stressful that can be. You've been through it now with people. That is a really nice thing to have. As you said, if you're long in the tooth, sometimes younger people would prefer to see somebody and talk to somebody that they can understand a little better at their age group.
And the girls, they go out to these schools and go to career days and all these things and speak to the students because the education system out there is not really geared towards adults and the things that adults need to know in order to be adults.
Now, when you look at Jordan and Taylor both, You two could still pass for high school students. So is that weird for you guys when you do go out to these things?
Well, most times whenever we go look at whenever it's me and Mike going to look at a house, I'm his daughter.
Yeah.
Every single time. They're like, "Are you his daughter?"
Yes, definitely. I surely am.
So as you can tell, we're throwing Mike under the bus
Of
on
course.
this session here.
This is what's happening.
I've got tire tracks where there should not be tire tracks.
We're talking with Mike and Joellen Greenlee and Jordan Spears from Old Fences Realty. They are our sponsor for this half hour of content. And again, it is raining here at the festival. I'll tell you what, it was too good to be true for 3 full days of great weather. And we had it as well as you could get it, I think, for the parade. So all that stuff took place. We're just waiting for this nasty rain to go through so everybody can get back out, the music can flow, the carnival can get going, and everybody can have a big time outside again. But you guys are having a good time no matter what. That's one thing we know about you guys is you guys are going to make the best of any situation possible. I just enjoy the way you guys attack your business, the way you guys approach your business. And again, it is pure chaos behind the scenes sometimes, I'm sure. One thing I love is you guys would never, ever, ever show it, not one bit. It's as if you guys are the most carefree human beings ever. And I know it's a stressful job, but you guys make sure that the customers and the clients don't have to ever see anything like that.
That's why Mike wears a hat. He doesn't have much hair anymore because
There again, I hear a bus. I thought I heard a bus come by.
I'm telling you. Listen, guys, those of you out there watching, they said that Mike was getting it this half hour, and they weren't kidding. Wait till Taylor gets here if she does, man. But it is a good thing that you guys are still in business here, and I love the way you guys just continue to serve this community. You guys are more than just Rome County, and that's one thing that I don't know if people know. I think at this point a lot of people do, but your stretch and your reach is incredible. And in fact, I remember a time, tell me if I'm wrong here, Wheeling was a property that you guys were working on.
You know, we'll go in a lot of different places if it is a farm, if there's a personal relationship, you know, with somebody. You know, we typically will stay about an hour from the house, the office. But if there's some circumstance that somebody needs help, like we have one
In
George, where you're-
Sistersville, 2
Yeah.
hours.
Sistersville.
so
And is that you, Jordan?
Yep, that's my
Yeah.
list.
so that person, we had a personal relationship with them. We had worked with them in the past, and whenever it come time for them to sell their property, you know, they'd interviewed a bunch of the folks up there, and they knew that they wanted Old Fences Realty.
That is a really neat thing that you guys can provide. I really like that because, and again, it's outside of your normal zone, but it's not outside of what you can and will do for people, you know, with those relationships built over 35 years. I was trying to remember, and I'm not good at that, but yeah, 35 years in business. And Jordan, you're now in year 2. Is that right? 3?
I'm
No.
going into year 2.
Going into
I
year
just
2.
passed my 1 year.
That blows my mind because, again, you've dove into this so hard that you would think that you're a veteran of this business already.
well, let me just tell you about Jordan. She is almost a $3 million producer this year, and the year's not over.
Wow.
So that little girl, she puts her nose down and she puts her on the grind and she gets the job done.
Jordan, does that number process in your brain when you think about it? $3 million?
Well, I'm always like, I could do better.
Yes, whatever, 3 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had her go look and see what's the average first-year real estate agent do. It was only like 5 to 7 or something like that, and she's like nowhere near that, you know.
500,000.
Yeah.
No. 5 to 7 sales.
Oh,
Sales.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
3 million.
Yeah.
That makes Mike happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm like the old man. I'm dad. You know, definitely dad, and I'm proud of my children.
Yes.
Even though, you know, some
Even
people
if they do
think,
run you over sometimes.
yeah. But you know, I love to see them, you know, perform way beyond most agents in their raising. You know. So,
And
yes,
let me
love
tell
it.
you another funny on Jordan.
I thought you were going to stay on Mike here in a second.
Now we're hitting me with the
Yeah.
No. She's sitting there on the phone, and I'm telling you what, how many times have we looked at her and said, it's a mini Mike? Oh, my gosh. She works like him. She acts like him. She beats her head like him. I'm really proud of this child. Well, young lady.
And that's the weird thing. I keep calling you a kid, Jordan. You're an adult. You're a working woman, and you're a successful agent already. You got a proud dad there too, by the way.
Yeah.
It's funny to see you. Always trying to embarrass just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oh, he's a good dude, man. I enjoy watching him come around there. And again, that is really neat to see the generational changes, but you guys still do the right things, and you bring these youngsters in, and they know what they're doing, and if they're good, and if they're taught by you guys, and if you give them those tools and those opportunities, they are going to succeed. Jordan and Taylor are proof positive that if you work hard at this job, and as Mike said, this is not an easy job for people. This is a job where you're on call. There is no 9 to 5 in this position. It is whenever somebody calls you, you answer it, and you make sure you do the best you can. One of the things I remember about her is we were up at the winery for a chamber dinner and a kind of a meeting. And we were outside, and I was talking with another business owner, and Jordan's out there. And we're like, hey, what's up, Jordan? She's like, just answering a call. And she was on the phone for 30 minutes.
Right.
And she got off the phone. She was like, had to take care of something. Sorry, guys. I was like, that's commitment.
That
It
is
is commitment.
And I would put her against any agent, Kanawha Valley, whatever it would be. I'd put her against any agent that had at least a half a dozen years experience.
Yeah.
And because, the
She's so
things that she
focused.
goes through and what she learns. And sometimes I'll tell her, I said, there's no way I would take that on. But go ahead and do it, and you will learn something.
Yeah. You'll either win and sell, or you'll learn something. You're never going to lose. You're going to learn
You will
something.
learn something.
From a property. Just like if a woman comes in and says, boy, this is ugly and I hate it.
Yeah.
You made it look good for a second. You made it look good for a second. How is that? I've always wondered about that. If you're putting this time and effort into trying to sell a property, and then somebody shows up and they're just not interested at all. How do you navigate that situation for the rest of the time you're with that person?
Well, I talked to her about what she was looking for. And then I took that information, and now she's in my contacts. And whenever I find something that she likes now, so I kind of took the time, instead of making it wasteful time, I turned it into something useful.
Well, that's very important, because just because it's not the right property right away doesn't mean you're not going to come across one or find one. That's an interesting thing. I always wondered about how that works with real estate, Mike. There's all these listings, and there's all these different realty companies, and there's like a sharing system, like a barter system that goes on with that. How does that work, and why does it work?
Well, basically what happens is, our job is to sell a piece of property if we list it, okay? So marketing that piece of property takes, I could be here for days talking about what it takes to make that happen. But in the sharing, the bartering, whatever you want to call it, it's called a co-broke. And say, for example, XYZ company has a listing, and Jordan has that person that hated the piece of property to begin with, and maybe that is the perfect piece of property for them. So she'll go out and she will show that piece of property of ABC company, and they will split the commission 50-50.
Okay.
So she still makes money on the project right there, and they are basically buying a purchaser.
Okay.
At that point.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. I mean, it makes great sense,
It's one of those things where there's enough to go around at that point, and you're like, you're
yeah.
still getting something out of it, and the other person who is trying to buy it finds it through a different place and comes to you, and they're getting what they want, and it works
And
well.
it goes deeper than that. Like last month, she had a buyer that wasn't in our service area. So she contacted and found another real estate broker that was a match for this particular buyer. And they found them, subsequently found them a piece of property. And she gets what's known as a referral fee for that. So that agent paid her, for that purchaser. And again, another way that Jordan is able to take advantage of how the systems in place that we have work.
So the grind never stops, and it behooves you to be available for all these different things, whether it is in your wheelhouse or not. If you see it and you know somebody, then you can you can make something off of that no matter what. That's
Well-
beyond my capabilities, Mike, just so you know.
Another good thing with Jordan and Mike both, Jordan's very efficient. If she gets someone that leaves a message, it will not be 24 hours before you hear from her. She
Yeah.
will get there as soon as she gets that message. She's calling you back.
Oh yeah, my
And that's
number one
important.
complaint
Yeah.
is from buyers is agents don't call them back. And I don't understand that. They don't call them back, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Yes, this is number one on the list. is,
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
call me
Yeah.
back and let me know what's going on with this
Yeah.
piece of property or that piece of property. Or, well, I tell you what, it's nice that you got Jordan in here. You're kind of a diamond in the rough. That's not a lot of kids. Here I go, calling her kitty.
Young
Not a
lady.
lot of young people have an idea of what they want to do early on in their lives. Heck, I was 30 years old and I figured out what I want to do, and I'm still not doing that.
I'm 60 and don't know what I
Yeah, I'm
want to
still
do.
trying to figure out what's going on. And Jordan looks at it. She's like, I could go to college and spend all this money and waste some money and go into debt, or I could go work and figure out what it is I like.
And
Well-
that's why I'm really thankful for the tech center, because
Yes.
they gave me the ability to go in and co-op and shadow Mike through school, so I didn't have to waste my time to try, or money to try and figure out what I
Yeah.
wanted to do.
That is a huge deal. Speaking of the tech center, I don't know if you guys heard or saw, but we had Ben Cummings on a little bit earlier today. He was coming here to make a big announcement, not just talking about the tech center and what they did, but the big announcement is they got state funding, $5.6 million. They are going to build a 10,000 square foot facility, and they will train electricians and HVAC in that
Wow.
building.
Great.
Nice.
They
Yes.
got the funding for it, and they will
Nice.
break ground. He said hopefully in April or May of 2024. Should be ready to go by 2025 school year. That's a huge deal. Just another one of those ways that they are helping there at the Tech Center with people who may not want to go into debt in college.
Hey, we are another company. We support that Votech Center
Yep.
hugely because my sister was a teacher there for years, and they offer these kids things they don't even know about. So they
Yep.
need to go down there and check at Votech too to see what all they have to offer.
You know where I started out? Votech.
Yep.
I spent 2 years of industrial electricity down there, and that got me started in the path that I'm on today.
It's crazy to think, how long that has been in business. As he was telling us, 50 years. 50 years for the Roan Jackson Tech Center. And the amount of lives, I imagine that thing has changed.
So the
And
concrete wasn't
it's-
even dry whenever I went there.
They still had framework up while he was trying to take classes. Listen, 35 years in business for Old Fences Realty, Mike. You guys don't get there without doing it the right way, man. You guys just continue to turn and burn. That's what I like to
Well,
say.
I appreciate that, and,
And
and we do.
Our son also got his start at Votech Forest,
Yep.
and that's how he got started. Decided that wasn't the path he wanted, but he figured it out. with
We
that.
figured it out for sure.
That's right.
Well, that young man is not doing bad for himself right now. So cool to get to see him over the summertime. We did a big thing at the Dirty Birds game, and Forrest just happened to be in that week. That was so neat, and it was cool to get to talk to him about just an adventure that he is on right now down in Texas, man.
We're not proud at all.
He was like, yeah, well, I was flying to the New York Yankees game recently
On a
into the
corporate
box seats of a
jet.
corporate jet. They picked us up at the airport in
a-
these big Humvees.
Blacked out. Oh my God.
I was like, oh, cool. I went to Backwoods yesterday.
He's been to the World Series twice now with his company. He works with CGA Stout, the quarterback for the Texans. He works for the Houston Astros. He works. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Rubbing elbows with
WWE,
some of
Yeah,
the big
wrestlers.
wigs. Yeah.
The WWE wrestlers are his athletes.
Got
So
like 75 athletes that he works with.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. What a
Little
life.
kid from Spencer.
Little kid from
Yeah.
Spencer, West Virginia. Well, he ain't little anymore. Let's just say that.
No.
Your son has gotten a bit stouter these days.
Oh yes.
I remember back in the day when he was just this little skinny golfer. And then all of a sudden, boom, there he is.
Yeah.
Quite a little larger. Does he still golf at all?
No.
No more golfing?
No,
No
it
time for
became
that.
a job in college. Once
Yeah.
you're student athlete.
Yeah, over at AB, he was golfing it up there. Boy, I hate to see AB under the
Oh, me
circumstances
too.
they're under right now. Well, guys, it's been a great day for us here. You got anything else you want to talk about? It's your 5 minutes of fame, Jordan.
Jordan, it's all about you.
Mine.
You can
It's
stomp
all
on
about
Mike
you.
a little bit more if you'd like. That's the big deal. How about this? How about if somebody wants to get a hold of you, Jordan? If somebody wants to buy a property, sell a property, look at a property, how do they get a hold of you?
My cell phone. That is the best way to get a hold of me.
That's what she's got right on her
or
hip
the
pocket.
office phone. Oh, right here. That is the best way to get a hold of me, and that's what I always tell people is to call, not text. I mean, I will see a text message, but I will get a call. I will answer a call before I answer a text message.
And your number?
Is 304 786 0729.
786
0729.
Put that in a speed dial.
786-0729. That's Jordan's. And I tell you what, I did that one time, by the way, on the radio. I gave out my actual cell phone number, and I regret it to this day because everybody knows now, and they've shared it. But I'm also not trying to sell property or buy
I won't regret it.
property. Yeah, you'll be good with that one. And the phone number, obviously, to Old Fences Realty.
304-927-4400.
That's how you know it's good because it's still a 927 number.
Or
Yes.
Mike's cell is 304-377-3758. Or JoJo's Taco.
Wait, you have your own cell phone now?
Well, it's mine.
Oh, it's just your
yeah.
cell
But we do catering, and we will do weddings, we'll do office parties, we'll do whatever. So call
Well-
our number at 304-377-1074 and ask for JoJo's Taco.
Tell you what, you guys got a lot of irons in the fire. But it's always good stuff, man. It always ends up very, very sharp. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for coming. I love hanging out with you guys off the air anyway, so on the air makes it a lot easier for me to get through the rest of this day. It's been a bit of a madhouse for us today, and we've got another half hour ready to go. Minnie Hamilton Health Systems may be going to be here, maybe not. We talked with Sandra Ellis a couple of days ago. I know the weather is just, right now, guys, it's just not cooperating, but I've been watching the Doppler radar, and it's supposed to leave pretty soon. What's next on the agenda for you guys today? Food?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
food. I haven't
Yeah.
had lunch yet. I'm like starving to death. It's like going from one place to another, this, that, the parade, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And
And
I
then-
love the carnival food
Yeah.
down here,
And
man.
then tonight we're going to Cousin Dana's.
Going out to Cousin Day, man. Tell that guy I miss him. I miss him. And one of these days, I'm not going to be grinding. One of these days, and I'll be able to do something with my life. Well, I hope that this half hour, number one, has been good for you guys, but number two has given enough time for the Bayou Classic food truck to thin out a little bit because I know you guys are headed that way. Mike, Joellen, Jordan, thank you all so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
With Old Fences Realty, folks, I tell you what, they do it well. They do it really well, and I hope you guys, if you have any property buy or sell, that you take a gander and go down there and see them at Old Fences Realty. It's a great time, folks. We're going to take a real quick break here, and we're going to check in and see if we've got Minnie Hamilton on the way. If so, we'll continue with our live remote here from the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival.
Did we liven that one up?
All right, welcome back, folks. We appreciate all of you having stayed with us throughout the 4 days of this special live coverage of the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. My name is Andrew Miller here at WVRC radio station 104.7 FM. Thank you all for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Michelle Atkinson, I could not have said this better. I thank you so much for putting this up on our chat box on Facebook. She said, just want to say that I love the Black Walnut Festival, just seeing everyone having a good time. A big thank you to everyone who put on a big event and all the city workers. Thank you so much. I think you echo the statements and the sentiments of so many people who may not say it, but I know a lot of people are thinking of it. It's a great event every single time we put it together. This year was no different. It was bigger, it was stronger, and even with this weather today, people are still out in force. It's such a good time here. And I tell you, I'm looking off into the distance, and the rain was supposed to leave this area sometime around 3 o'clock, and here we are at 3:07. And I'm not sure if it's going to go away for good, but I tell you what, if you look from where we are, I don't know if I can see it over there. We might be a little bit too far back, but I'll tell you what, here in just a few minutes, I am looking at blue skies. Right now, what you see in front of us up top is the remnants of the rain that was coming through. But if you look over to the right, there are some blue skies coming, and I cannot wait to show you all the blue skies coming now. Right now, what we're looking at, folks, is they have postponed the music because of the rain that has come through. So the music right now on the grand stage at the beginning of Main Street is off at the moment. I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to discuss with Brent Wilson what the situation is going to be with that. I know that it was supposed to be 2 o'clock right following the Grand Parade. Of course, that's when the deluge came down. That Jack and Davis Reed were supposed to start from 2 to 4, and then from 4:30 to 6:30 was supposed to be the Jeremy Short Band, and we're supposed to close tonight with Zona Hester, the band, from 7 to 9. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that type of music. Now, obviously, the carnival had been postponed for a little while the rains were coming through. Just no way that people could be out and about into that stuff. So they shut down the carnival for a little while, and hopefully they're going to be opening back up at some point pretty soon. Everything else that's going around the festival indoors is obviously still taking place. All of the stuff over at Spencer Middle School, everything going on at the Armory, and of course everything down at Heritage Park Community Building, all of that is still going on without delay because it was indoors. And, of course, we did make it through the Grand Parade. Thankfully, we appreciate everyone who tuned in to watch it on our YouTube and Facebook live stream. We do apologize for some of it cutting in and out. There are things beyond our control. Obviously, we were at the mercy of our Wi-Fi hotspot, which was obviously really downgraded because of the rain and the coverage of the clouds. We just couldn't get the best signal that we possibly could. And, of course, sometimes when you're in a big parade and you have loud sirens, it cuts out everything else. And so we did have some audio issues as well, but we did the best we possibly could, and we do appreciate everyone who tuned in and gave us the thank yous for trying to put on the Grand Parade as well. Everything else going on without delay so far. Again, the band and majorette competition is getting ready to start. There were some bands in the festival Grand Parade. There were some who chose not to march in the parade, instead to stay out at Roane County High School. And again, 3:15, the band and majorette competition is scheduled to go on, and that's again out at Roane County High School's County Stadium. And, of course, that is going on without a hitch. I'm not sure about any of the outside activities so far here around the courthouse square. Of course, the food court is open. Those food vendors are dogged. They are not going to go away, so they are open no matter with rain or shine. They're going to be open to serve people all the festival food that they want. Now, when it comes to the Euro Bungee, I assume it's going to take them just a little bit of time to get things dried up. But as you look, as I mentioned, Hamilton, there are the blue skies, folks. It is going to be very, very nice here, I think, for the rest of the evening. And the blue skies are coming over, and you can see the bad storm clouds exiting stage left. Very exciting to see that the weather is going to improve. And I imagine with the weather improving, people will start coming back out into the streets, and we may get things going full bore once again here on this Saturday afternoon. I hope to get to see or talk with Brent Wilson before we go off the air to see what's going on with the main stage and the music. But everything else, I think, is going to go as it's planned. Of course, tonight, don't forget, folks, we are going to be live streaming the 4-H FFA livestock sale from the barn out at Roane County High School on Lick Fork side of the Roane County High School campus, and that will be at 6:30 p.m. We'll try to be on there with pre-sale coverage at about 6:15. Myself, Joe McDonald, will be out there enjoying our time at the livestock sale. Again, we're just in a holding pattern here today, and again tomorrow. Still not sure about everything. Waiting to hear word on whether we're going to be able to do the car show. The Nut Run will obviously take place. The Nut Run and Walk. They're going to do that rain or shine or even with some snow. We've seen that before in our time. But a lot of things still going to be happening here today. We invite you to come down. The weather is getting better and better. I'm going to keep the camera looking up at the skies because it is now becoming very sunny. It's going to start getting warm again. It's going to be a beautiful evening here in Spencer, West Virginia for the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. We want to thank our sponsor for this half hour of content. Our sponsor here for this half hour, Mini Hamilton Healthcare Systems, and care you could trust close to. I'm going to tell you what, they are really, really good. I was able to talk to Sandra Ellis, the representative, a couple days ago about all the things that Mini Hamilton has going on in their facility, their main facility, a big capital improvement project that is going on over at the main facility, and of course reaching out an expansion into Glenville, into Arnoldsburg, and expanding counties. It's going to be a great thing for Mini Hamilton. Folks, stick around. We're going to be right back talking again. Once we find out some of these events coming back online, we'll get that information to you as quickly as possible. In the meantime, stay tuned here at the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. Well, folks, I'm going to be back really quickly. I thought it was going to be a few minutes, but I just happened to hear on the main stage Brent Wilson, before I even got over to go talk to him, he said, hey, we're wiring up the stage again and we're getting set. They are going to bring Jack and Davis Reed onto the main stage. So I think they're going to bunch everybody in here, and they're going to get Jack and Davis Reed in. They're going to follow it with Jeremy Shortband and then finish with Zona Hester tonight. So how cool is that they're getting ready to go? I tell you, the sun has shown itself very quickly here, and it is now bright, and it's going to be a good afternoon here at the Walnut Festival. So, folks, stick around. We're going to be back in just a minute. Well, folks, I love the Walnut Festival. I really, really do. There are many reasons that I know, and then there are some things that just surprise me. I tell you what, we have been live here since Wednesday morning at about 11 o'clock, and you never know who's going to pass by our little booth here on the corner of Court and Church Street. We're so happy every time people stop by and just want to talk and just want to hang out and talk about what's going on with the festival. And I know today was a big day for people who are running for offices. And again, our WVRC platform today is a wide open platform. We offer anybody who wants to come talk. We just have to find a time when we are not shut down with bad weather. And so I've got a guy here who just popped by the tent as I was hanging out waiting to hear if the music was going to play. And the music is getting ready to play. Brent Wilson got on the main stage, said, hey, Jack and Davis Reed are getting ready to take the stage. We're going to wire up the sound system. I think they believe that the Blue Skies are going to stick around here. So we've got a lot of candidates who came down here for the big grand parade. One of those candidates who just stopped by here, Brian Wood, is running for Secretary of State. And Brian, you popped by here. I was like, hey, by the way, you want to get on the air? And he's like, okay. Well, Brian, appreciate you stopping by with us here today. And we wanted to talk about, number one, you're running for Secretary of State, and you are attaching this to all of your history in what you have done in your time as what have you done? You started as you were laying it out to me. I was like,
Yes,
okay, well, I need somebody like that then down at the lower levels first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to
Not a
speak
problem.
to your crowd. So I am Brian Wood. I'm from Putnam County, and I started in '96, and I ran for magistrate. I was 23 years old, and I served 2 terms as magistrate. And in 2004, I switched over to, well, 2002, I got married, and we were getting ready to have our first kid. And so I switched over to county clerk, and I've been county clerk for the last 4 terms in Putnam County. So I basically am the Charlie White
There you go.
of Putnam County. Let
Let me guess, you've worked with Charlie White a few times in your life.
Yes,
Yeah.
you all got a great new clerk as well.
Yep.
And so I was the president of the County Clerks Association and kind of been doing it for a while. When Secretary Warner decided he wanted to run for governor, I knew we were going to have a new Secretary of State, and I just didn't want to leave it to chance to just any politician or just anybody getting it. I wanted somebody that has experience. I'm where the rubber meets the road when it comes to elections, when it comes to election security. When it comes to managing a public office where you got to answer to the taxpayers, and there's no better way of doing it than on the local level.
Well, you mentioned Mac Warner. Obviously, you have worked in tandem with that guy, so you have been at the ground level of this kind of stuff, election security, more than just election security, things that have to go on as a Secretary of State. But I feel like, and you just mentioned, I have been at the ground level. I know what it takes at the bottom. And so if somebody like you gets to the top level there, it's not somebody who came in from left field. It's somebody who has been on the grind for how many terms now? 4 terms?
4 terms, 20 years, and I don't know how many elections. so it's one of those deals where I can think of no other job in the world that mirrors the Secretary of State's position more than a county clerk. You know, because we're just on a smaller level. We're on a local level, and so the county clerk, they have multiple units within their office: bookkeeping, payroll, the record room, elections, clerk of the county commission, help out with the budget, help out with the financial statement. So several different things, and the Secretary of State's office is the same way. You got process serving, you got the business registration portion, you got the notary, you got marriage license, you got the obviously elections is the icon. It's what
I just recently registered as a official wedding chaplain with you guys.
Absolutely. Okay.
I had to marry a buddy of mine and his girlfriend, so I got registered with you guys for that.
Great. Did you have a good experience with the registration
Oh,
process?
it was so.
We could prove on.
Not for me, because I called in and said, "What do I have no clue what to do." And you guys took care of for me. That office took care of it for me.
There's a great team in place.
Yeah.
And I know that team like the back of my hand, working with them as president of the County Clerks Association throughout the state of West Virginia. So, my term for the presidency was through the COVID election, was through
Oh.
through the redistricting process and stuff like that.
So you
both-
can do anything
Both
now.
of those were tough.
Yeah.
I've been through redistricting since I've been clerk in the Putnam County, so I know the struggles to go through. And this last redistricting was definitely a struggle because the census numbers didn't get to us until right at the last minute at the state level.
Yeah.
And then the state had to do their thing. Then who gets it last? It's the county clerks that's got to put all the pieces of the puzzle
Yeah.
back together. But the county clerks, was it perfect? Absolutely not. But for the situation that they were put in, they did a great job
with it.
in getting that election handled, as well as the COVID election handled. Where everybody hopefully had an opportunity. We had record-breaking turnouts in a bad situation. So hopefully everybody got to have their voice heard, and that's important. And it doesn't matter, there's politics involved in obviously running for the office, but then after that, it's you serve the people, and the law's the law. We're the executive branch of government, so we do whatever the law says.
What we always say when it comes to these kind of things, you're just like, you know what? Yes, it's an elected position, a political position. Only in that it's an elected position. Other than that, it's a job that you guys have to do at your level, and again at the Secretary of State level, it's a job that you have to do. Having that understanding of the baseline and the ground level stuff, and then having that interaction with our previous Secretary of State obviously makes you qualified for this. Again, we're talking with Brian Wood for Secretary of State, and what made you want to do this other than just that? Is this something that you've thought of for the last few terms? You ever think, well, maybe Secretary of State would be good?
No, if you'd have told me probably a year ago that I was going to run for Secretary of State, I'd told you were crazy. I am perfectly happy with serving the people of Putnam County. I love it. I'm appreciative of the opportunity they give me. And you're right, it is a job to me. It's a job, but I consider myself a public servant rather than a politician. And there's a difference between the two. And so this job has fed my family, has put a roof over my head for the last 20 years. So I'm blessed to have that opportunity. But I never forget who put me there and who can take me out. And so when you have that kind of skin in the game, you go the extra mile. You go the extra. When they come through that door, you would take them by the hand and you treat them like you want to be treated if you were on the other side of that counter. And so I never forget that. And looking at the the fallout of who possibly could run, and it's not that they're bad people or anything like that. It's sometimes people are looking for a position or a stepping stone or whatever it may be, and that's not the case with me. I wanted somebody in there. Election integrity, election security is at the forefront of daily life now. On a national level. And if you haven't managed an election, if you haven't did the poll worker training, if you haven't, if you don't know the equipment, if you don't know the breakdowns in the process where you're vulnerable, you don't know how to protect it. And so I've got 20 years of expertise in this. It's like I've been in training for this opportunity for the last 20 years. And did I think I was ever going to do this? Absolutely not. I'm an average guy. I put my pants on just like everyone else. I'm not a rich man. I just a guy that comes from the county level that wants to give West Virginia an opportunity to vote for somebody just like them without having the risk of not knowing what they're doing because I know what I'm doing. So.
Well, when it comes to those national things and it spills down into the statewide, you got to be a water off a duck's back when it comes out. You're like, listen, that's it. We're just chill, people. It's okay. We're going to do what we're supposed to do here in West Virginia.
Anytime there's a concern with a citizen over anything with elections, you've got to look into it. You can't stick your head in the sand and pretend nothing's wrong just because you're on the inside looking out. You know what I mean? But when you're on the inside, you feel a little more comfortable because you know the safe stop gaps and the safety mechanisms in place, especially in West Virginia. A lot of our bad habits in the past whether it be vote buying or whether it be, was a pint of liquor or whatever it may be, a lot of those.
I've never engaged in that in my life, I promise.
A lot of those bad habits in the past had West Virginia put in place different laws, that protect against the things that you're hearing in these other states, and stuff like that. So, I believe, elections are better ran on a state level and a local level. Washington one size fits all.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
believe in that. We need to be the example to the rest of the country as to how to run elections. And I think the people of West Virginia are proud of our elections, feel safe with their elections, know that when they go into that voting booth, what they put in is what they get
It's
out.
what they're going to get out.
And
Yeah.
so there's been polls of the confidence in our elections. We're always going to try to make improvements, and we're always going to try to get to the next level.
Yeah.
When I give my poll worker training, and I've given
Plenty of them at this point.
I just because we did a good job last election don't mean we take it for granted and think we know it all. We start from A to Z, and we try to improve every election. How are we going to get better? How are we going to get better? And that's just anything in life.
Yeah,
you
that's the way it goes. We're talking with Brian Wood, running for Secretary of State. How do they get in touch with you, Brian, if they're wanting to see your platform? Obviously, you gave me the card here. It says Wood for West Virginia, Wood, the number 4, westvirginia.com. Is that a website for you?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
the website, and then as well as Facebook. So everything's the Wood number WOD 4WV.
Yep.
And then .com. We're on Facebook.
Well,
and so-
on top of that, have you had fun at the festival? I know the weather didn't cooperate today. We apologize. We tried really hard. I was praying for good weather, and it just didn't happen. But did you make it through the vast majority of the parade without getting soaked?
Yeah. It was a mist, and when I was going through, and it was a lot cooler than the Ripley 4th of July parade, so I was appreciative of that. We had a great crowd today, and it's starting to liven up again here. It's the city's starting to come back to life after
Absolutely.
the downpour there just a little while ago.
Listen, they can't dampen our spirit.
No,
here, Spencer.
absolutely, and the Spencer, they're resilient. They're out there in the marching around in the weather and
Listen,
everything. They don't stop. So
There's a
that's
fine
awesome.
line between resilience and craziness, and we walk a lot here in Spencer. Brian, I do appreciate your time, man.
sir.
I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to let you go talk to the people here in town and let them know who you are and what you're all about, and running for Secretary of State of this great state of West Virginia.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much. That's Brian Wood, and I tell you what, folks, I am open for all of these politicians who want to come, and I say politician loosely with
I
you
understand.
because, again, you're not doing political work. You are running an election, and you're doing a job. Is what you're doing.
Yes,
but
sir.
I appreciate your time, Brian, and I wish you the best of luck, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Folks, we're going to be here until 4 o'clock, and then I got to shut everything down and head out to the Ag Barn. But I'm just hanging out here. Again, we want to thank our sponsor for this half-hour content, Mini Hamilton Health System. Stick around, folks. Going to take a quick break and be right back. I want to welcome everybody back to the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. Matt Queen, I hope you're still listening in. Yes. Finally, we are dry. We weren't dry for a while here today, which is why we had to be shut down until about 2:30. Finally, the rains have come through. The blue skies are here with some white clouds. There are still a little bit of overcast clouds sticking around, but those things are moving slowly out of the way. Heard from Brent Wilson just a little bit ago. He got up on the main stage, said, hey, we're getting ready to re-go with the music. Jack and Davis Reed now are on the stage, and they are playing live music here at the festival. I think the weather is going to hold up for the rest of the day. I'm starting to see a bunch of people coming back out, moving around here. The courthouse square is going to be lit up once again. Right now, Jack and Davis Reed are on the main stage. They'll be followed by Jeremy Short Band, and then tonight we'll be finishing up with Zona Hester. I think Euro Bungie's getting ready to go again. I imagine that the carnival is getting set to open once again. Going to be a good day here and a great finish to a rainy afternoon at the Walnut Festival. I do love that the rain went away at about 9 this morning. It stayed away for the vast majority of the parade. There were some passing showers during the parade that lasted about an hour and 20 minutes, but the vast majority of it was good. There were so many people who attended. They loved the event, and then the rain came down. Everyone ran for shelter for about 30 minutes, and now we are back ready to go, and all the outside events are going to be kicking off once again here at the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. I want to thank our sponsor for this half hour of content and this final half hour. By the way, we've got about 20 minutes left before we're shutting down, and we're going to head on out to the FFA barn on the Lick Fork side of Roane County High School's campus. We're going to get ourselves set up, and we are going to live stream the livestock sale here this evening. That begins at 6:30 p.m. But I do want to thank our sponsor for this half hour of content, Minnie Hamilton Healthcare Systems. And they are your partner in health for sure. We were talking with Sandra Ellis a couple days ago about all the things that are going on at Minnie Hamilton, the expansion, the collaboration with the University of Harvard Medicine, such a cool thing they are doing, all the awards that they have received over the years. And she was talking about being out in Kansas City to accept one of those small community hospital awards that they earned once again. And not just the expansion of services and the specialty services that they provided, but the actual capital improvements, the expansion of the building. They are going through a four-phase overhaul right now where they are expanding their services and they are expanding their resources and their facilities. Such a really cool thing going on for Minnie Hamilton Health System. And again, they're very good to give back. They are a sponsor this year of the Black Walnut Festival here in Spencer, West Virginia, and we're very happy to have them as a sponsor here for our live feed. I'm starting to hear the kick drum, folks. That means we're going back to full bore here at the Black Walnut Festival. So exciting to be here at the West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. Want to check in on some of the things that are going on this afternoon, and we will be full go this afternoon. It is 3:42, so we're looking at some of the things that were going on before. The Dino Roar show is expected to go one more lap at 5 p.m. right here on Court Street. The Train Depot Museum open right now for viewing. Of course, they still have the 4-H, FFA, and Ag exhibits over at Spencer Middle School. So if you want to go see those, you need to go quickly because people can go pick those up as well right now. Again, the Band and Majorette Festival competition should be going on right now, and I imagine they are loving having some sunshine on their shoulders out at the out at County Stadium for the Band and Majorette competition. A lot of the bands who marched in the parade today will be out there competing. Many of the bands who weren't marching are still going to be in that, so we hope that they have a great time out at the Band and Majorette competition going on now out at County Stadium. Throughout the evening, we have got music ready to go. Again, Jack and Davis Reed are getting ready to go. They are doing a sound check warm-up, and they're going to get music going. Following them, it will be the Jeremy Short Band, one of the best blues guitarists around. And finally tonight, it'll be Zona Hester finishing off the music. Again, tonight, 6:30 p.m., the 4-H FFA livestock sale. The carnival should be back open here relatively soon. All of the food vendors are still open for business. Looking forward to people coming around and continuing to get the food that they want. And things are going well here. And again, tomorrow, once again, it'll get started bright and early. The craft show at 10 a.m. David Davis, One Room School Pictures, those both at the Armory. The flea market will be open again tomorrow at 10 a.m., and that'll be over on Front Street. The registration for the Black Walnut Festival 5K Nut Run and Walk beginning tomorrow at 10:15 a.m., and that'll be down at the Heritage Park Community Building. Going to try to get myself down there to do some pre-race and post-race live remotes for the Black Walnut Festival Nut Run and Walk. And again, that is part of the Patch and Jack Garrett Racing Series that they've done such a great job with. I know that Justin Bossert and Quentin Keaton and a couple of the others there, they do such a great job. Marie Hedges, all of them continuing to build that program. And that'll be 10:15 for registration. The Nut Run Walk will begin at 11 a.m. As of right now, the car show is still on. The registration is 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's over at the Walmart parking lot. The actual show, you can go until 3 p.m. before the awards come out. Don't forget, Ryan Erickson is slated to perform over there. If you have not heard that young man perform, he is a tremendous singer and songwriter. So go over there and have some fun with it. There's going to be food over there as well. The gospel sing taking place tomorrow as well, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. right up on the courthouse lawn, talking with David Bowen and all the people who were coming to that. It's very exciting. There'll be 1 to 5 for that. The carnival, again, will be open tomorrow from 11 to 4 p.m., and the food vendors, again, will be open tomorrow at noon, and they will stay open until towards the end of the Walnut Festival. That is what is on tap, folks, for the last 2 days of this Black Walnut Festival here in Spencer, West Virginia. Folks, it has been a tremendous 4 days for us here. We'll go into day 5 tomorrow morning. I want to thank everyone who has been with us since Wednesday early. And, of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors who bought time and bought half-hour or hour slots to talk about the festival, to talk about their businesses, and to help promote this Walnut Festival. It's been a great time here for me. I want to thank George Allen, my other partner over here who has been with me on the air. I want to thank our studio technicians, Leah Metz and Lauren Randall, who have kept us on the radio side of things for the last few days. And most definitely, I want to thank the City of Spencer. I want to thank all the workers in the city, Rob Miller and his crew, for all of the help they have given us over the days. I want to thank all of the Black Walnut Festival committee members. Very special thanks to Kate Gaynor for all of her assistance in helping us do what we do here at WVRC. We'll be back again tomorrow morning with a little bit of Nut Run registration. Don't forget, folks, that we will be live this evening at 6:30 p.m. for the livestock sale at the 4-H and FFA barn. And I want to thank every one of you who have been with us throughout this 4 days. Thanks for all your likes, your shares, your comments on our videos, and letting us know that you enjoy what we do here at WVRC. That'll do it for us here from the 69th Annual West Virginia Black Walnut Festival. For all of us here at WVRC, my name is Andrew Miller, signing off.